She's not substantive. You can watch a Kamala Harris rally, usually in about 20 minutes if you just watch her, and it's a lot of slogans. It's a lot of, girl boss talk and that kind of thing. It's not substantive solutions for the future of this country. It's not. You watch a Donald Trump rally, it goes on for an hour and a half. Sometimes people complain about that. However, it's substantive. Sure, there are jokes, but the issues that he tackles, detailed policy prescriptions for America to make this country a better place. Meanwhile, Kamala's just having fun. I mean, she is giddy because, well, she thinks this great big hoax can be pulled on America. Just 3 months to go. We can't let that happen. And it's true. The issues are so important. You can talk about her goofy personality, but number one, she owns this. If Joe Biden owns this, so does she. The Afghanistan loss. And so does this crazy guy, Walz, as well. How about the border? That was Biden's doing and hers and her new buddy, Walz. Let's see here. What else do we got? Number three, if they think this is cool, Kamala thinks this is cool, and Walz does. I mean, he is totally into this stuff, this trans mess. And of course, inflation. Nobody likes going to the grocery store. Nobody likes it. Everybody can feel it. It was Joe's, Kamala's, and now his. And Kamala owns Walz's agenda or record of accomplishment, right? Very proud of that tampon bill. Fourth grade boys having access to tampons. That's what we need government for. Letting Minneapolis go to hell because you thought it might be impolite to send in the National Guard. That is now your responsibility as well. You have to answer for it, Kamala. Let's see. Ooh, and the draft dodging, or whatever you want to call it, the stolen valor. Kamala, this one's on you too. You should have caught this.
Hope woke up like many of you did 5 weeks ago and said, Dad, you're the only person I know who's in elected office. You need to stop what's happening with this. I'll take my kick in the butt for the NRA. I spent 25 years in the Army, and I hunt. And I gave the money back, and I'll tell you what I have been doing. I've been voting for common sense legislation that protects the Second Amendment, but we can do background checks. We can do CDC research. We can make sure we don't have reciprocal carry among states, and we can make sure that those weapons of war that I carried in war is the only place where those weapons are at.
Busted right there. It's stolen valor, but that's not the only thing he did that's really reprehensible regarding the military. Let's see. Lying about going to war when you didn't, that's really, really bad. Also, lying about your rank. I hear some civilians saying, oh, that's not a big deal. Actually, it is, especially if you were a sergeant major in the Army or an enlisted man. You don't want anybody bragging about being something that they actually weren't. And also, he avoided Iraq. You can't hang around with your unit for 24 years and then just before they go to war, you quit. It's wrong. His fellow soldiers know it. This issue is not going away. And I actually heard a prominent Democrat today theorize out loud that Walz might not make it. This is a big deal. Now, the media still going semi-easy on it. Kamala actually took some questions today. Here she is, walking tall, right? Hey, she got out of the vehicle with her sunglasses on. Check this out. Who does she think she is? I'll admit this, she looks great, right? But this is that's all she's got going for her. When it comes to the substance, there ain't none.
Some of the criticism has been about your vice presidential pick and his leading the National Guard at 24 years. Vance said that he deserted his own troops or his own colleagues. What's your take on that?
Listen, I praise anyone who has presented themselves to serve our country. And I think that we all should.
Madam Vice President, there's been a lot of questions about when you're going to sit down for your first interview since being the nominee.
I've talked to my team. I want us to get an interview scheduled before the end of the month.
Thank you.
What do you make about the attack on your husband's face? Thank you so much.
Did you catch that? Before the end of the month. We got 3 months to go before the election. She won't take questions from an interviewer until September, maybe, or August 30th. Now, by the way, does this look like public service, or does this look like she's having the time of her life? Check this out, getting on this plane, right? They call themselves public servants. It is such a scam. They're in this for the toys. Donald Trump already had this stuff, all right? 40 years ago, he had this stuff. He's in it for all the right reasons. By the way, that was 1 minute she spoke to the press. Donald Trump, 1 hour and 4 minutes today, 43 questions. There is absolutely no contest. They can't beat this guy. I think it's impossible on the issues, on the merits. Maybe that's why a lot of people want him dead. And they do. We know that. We know that there are a lot of people in America who want this guy dead, and a lot of people overseas. I am very, very worried about his safety. Now, let's face it, God is protecting him, so maybe we shouldn't be that worried, but this happened on July 13th. I want to show you something from July 12th. Take a look.
The complaint accuses Pakistani man Asif Merchant, allegedly tied to Iran, of orchestrating a plan to assassinate government officials on U.S. soil. One of those officials, former President Donald Trump.
Merchant was arrested the day before the attempted assassination of Mr. Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania.
The man's name is Asif Merchant. He's 46 years old and was arrested on July 12th trying to leave the United States.
So I know it got some attention. I missed it. This guy was arrested on July 12th. July 12th. July 12th, he's arrested. He's leaving the country. What happens on July 13th, the very next day? He gets out of Dodge before? I mean, what happened? This is incredibly suspicious, and the whole damn thing makes me nervous. However, we got some new evidence we have to look through, and it is, well, troubling. Absolutely. All right, so they have a report of a guy on the roof, possibly with a gun. This is one local police officer trying to get on the roof. It's unclear what's going on here, what he sees, what he doesn't see, but let's take a look. There's no sound, by the way. Gives him a boost to the roof. Comes down real quick. We didn't hear what he said. And he's running. He's running pretty fast, and that is 29 seconds before the shooting. Can we take a look at the roof? Now, you may have heard reports that he saw a man with a gun and realized he couldn't grab his own gun, so he dropped back down to the floor. I got to say, that has not been totally established, and that's not apparent in this picture here. We're looking at kind of what he saw. Where is the shooter? We don't know. He is reported to have said later that he saw the guy with the gun. All right. Now, while all this is going on, what did the Secret Service know? Well, they knew something was going on. Check this out.
It did not make it over to us, or whether we did not hear it, it just did not make it over to us. It did not make it to us. And I go back to my opening statement where the members of the detail, they did not, all they knew that the issue, that the locals were working an issue at the president's 3 o'clock, which would have been off to his right, which is where the shot came from.
That's a big deal. They were working an issue at the 3 o'clock. We just saw them working the issue. That was before the shots were fired. And there's President Trump. They seem to be looking in that direction. Some of this we know already, but it can't be emphasized enough. And every day, this Secret Service guy acting Ron Rao, President Trump is in serious danger. All right, next. Again, this there's no sound for most of this. Watch. This is about 20 seconds before shots are fired. It seems like he's trying to spot somebody on the roof, but we don't know. There's no audio. 8 seconds before shots. What is he doing? Is he looking for somebody on that roof? Shots fired. And I'm sorry, this doesn't look good. He's running in the wrong direction. And he goes to the back of the police car to get another weapon, which, oh, by the way, isn't really ready to go. You see a moment with the door there. And then he spends an awful lot of time preparing this gun, loading it, that kind of thing. Anyway, President Trump at this point has already been shot, 2 people seriously wounded, and Cory Comparator mortally wounded. Shouldn't take this long to get the weapon out of the car. If you don't believe me, take a look at the guys who responded to the Nashville Catholic school shooting, how quickly they had their weapons out of the car. This is crazy. All right, let's see here. There's something else. We're actually going to hear all of the shots from a police car's camera. It was at 48 where we believe that was the Secret Service firing back. 15 seconds. It's actually kind of a long time. It is. Don't you agree? It shouldn't take that long. I don't know. And they were looking in that direction the whole time. Next.
Is he down?
I don't know.
36, go ahead.
This is right after. Listen to what he says.
I told them they need to post the guys over here. I told them that the Secret Service. I told them that Tuesday. I told them to post guys over here.
I have no contact with the inside.
What? No, we're inside.
Alpha 1, Bravo 1. Mickey.
I told them to post guys over here.
I wasn't even concerned about it because I thought someone was on the roof. No. I thought that's how how can you lose a guy walking back here?
They were inside.
All right, so you heard this man say, look, this hasn't checked out yet because we're not being told in an organized fashion what's going on. But he's saying that local police officer, I told the Secret Service they needed guys here, and I told them that on Tuesday. I told them that on Tuesday. I don't know if we're going to get that from Ron Rao, the acting director. There is so much to be skeptical of. And there's Donald Trump on that stage, oblivious to all this stuff that's going on. They know they have an issue at 3 o'clock, and they let a president of the United States, former and possibly future, take that stage. It is insane. And we all know now that there were reports of this suspicious guy lurking around for hours. Think for a moment. November 22nd, 1963, JFK, right? Now, we don't know the full story about that, of course, but I know that the Secret Service agents, I don't suspect them. I don't suspect that the cops in that motorcade knew there was a suspicious guy like Oswald hanging around Dealey Plaza for 3 hours. Can you imagine that? Oswald was hiding on the 6th floor. There may have been some guys on the grassy knoll and a lot of other things going on, but I think he was there. As to who he was working with, I don't know. But the cops and the Secret Service did not know that because he was hiding. They knew it in this case. Dealey Plaza, it's crazy. And seconds went by from the shots to getting out of there. Very, very fast. The Zapruder pictures show it. That's the first shot, by the way, that hit him in the neck. I don't know what direction it came from. A lot of people say from the back. Some people say from the front. That's Clint Hill, the Secret Service agent, jumping on there. He's still alive, an amazing man, and Jackie trying to escape. That's after the headshot. Clint Hill felt so guilty about this for decades because he doesn't think he responded fast enough. The seconds. What about hours? Hours went by. And this acting guy, what's his name? Rao, has the audacity to be indignant about the entire situation. Looking at us like, look at that. Like we made a mistake in questioning these guys.